And we are live. Hey, everybody. Let's see who we have on here. Got my Terrell apparel. Definitely got to wear my Terrell apparel. Whenever I'm doing work, I try and wear my Terrell stuff. Anyway, I just saw Craigie's video and calling it Sympathy Sunday because I guess we both had bad luck on Sunday today. But on a good note, it's my anniversary today, 29 long years with the wife who puts up with me. So must be doing something right. I don't know, 29 years. We'll see. Anywho, saw Craigie's video about the vent in the Hutzel 372. I guess he thinks that when he cleaned it out with brake clean, pushing it through the vent, it may have disrupted the ductbill in somehow. So now it's not sealing properly. The only thing that sucks about that, I think, unless you can manipulate it through with a pair of hemostats or something, you may have to split the case, but I hope not. I hope Craig fixes it. You know, I always talk to myself, Mega. That's why I go on live. I was on the other day talking to myself for 20 minutes. Nobody came on. I was on for the whole 20 minutes talking to myself. So I said, the heck with it. But I went on early. I went on at like 5 o'clock. So what's up? Yeah, I had one of those days. I don't know if you saw my video earlier on that Ryobi that blew the flywheel and keyway and crankshaft and everything apart. That was kind of interesting. So I just looked the thing up before. It was $119 at Home Depot for the saw brand new. And by the time, it's a friend, it's a neighbor's brother. So I'm not gonna charge him a lot to fix it. So if I did fix it, I'd probably charge him $100. I was just amazed at the cost of the flywheel. The flywheel was like $688 or something. It was ridiculous, and a whole short block is like $52. So, but say you charge him $100 and you get a whole new saw for $119, not worth it. Definitely not worth it. Hey Jesse, how you doing? What'd you find, Mega? A creamsicle or a husky, or what'd you find? Say pool on. It's Sympathy Sunday. Say pool on. I hope Craigie chimes in because I can feel his pain. It's been one of those days, Oh, 12. That's a throwaway saw if you ask Maddie. But homeowner saw, toy saw, but that's okay. That's all right. Anything found is good. Yep. So hot here today. It was like mid 80s. Crazy. It's supposed to be the first day of spring. I mean, fall. And it's high 80s. That's crazy. Yeah, Steelish pool on. Yep. Yeah, probably about what a pool on's worth, an 012, The older pull ons I like, though. I saw one guy was on there, and I'm on one of these Facebook groups for chainsaws, and the guy collects pull ons, and he's got the big, like the 100 and I think it's 100 something cubic inches, a 5200 or something like that. They're pretty big with the old magnesium cases, but it's a huge saw. It's got like a 5-foot bar on it. Really wild. Yeah, I hope it's supposed to get cooler tomorrow. It's supposed to rain, and then it's supposed to be in the 70s, so not too bad. Hey, Timmy, how's it going? Is your team playing today, Tim? I was watching the Giants play with their new quarterback. They're not doing well. So hopefully my Packers will do well. Anyway, we'll call it Sympathy Sunday for all the stuff that went wrong today with that Ryobi saw. And I made a tube video the other day. Of course, I take a tire to my friendly dealer who I love the guy. He only charges me $6 to throw a tube in. So I pick it up, I put it in my truck. The next morning I get up to throw it back on that leaf blower I did the video on. It's flat. So I did the video. Make sure you take all the debris out of your tire before you throw a tube in, because if you don't take out the cause of the flat, it's going to make the tube flat. So you got to remember. I think so. I don't get it, though. I don't get it. The only stuff we get here around here is Jets, Giants, and Patriots. But although they were playing now, I think they're playing the New Orleans game against Buccaneers. New Orleans is actually beating them, which is good. But Giants are getting beat. Jets, of course, Jets, Patriots. That's not a game. That's a scrimmage. I mean, Patriots can play with one arm behind their back and beat the Jets. Anywho, what's going on in the world of saws? Who'd they play, Jess? I didn't even look. I have the NFL app on my phone, but I just didn't have a chance to look. Who'd they play today? I'm hoping they won. Could be three. Oh, that's right, Denver. Did they win? That way they're 3-0. That'd be good. You know, I hope they won, but it'd be my luck. You know, when Denver had Elway, I would root for Denver because I love John Elway, his lightning arm. You know, I always like voting, rooting for the underdog. But yeah, now they show Elway in the press boxes with his sad face because they're losing. Anywho, I don't know if anyone caught Craig Timmons' video. He was doing that Farmer Tech Hutzel 365, 371 clone. I guess he put it all back together, and then he's got some oil weeping out of the ceramic vent that you see underneath the chain where the oiler comes out. So the duckbill valve it's generating pressure, making it past the duckbill or whatever's in there and coming out. So I don't know, not good. Yeah, that's the thing, Tim. If you want to get all those NFL channels, you got to pay for all that crap. I don't care. To me, like I said, I was watching the Giants because it's a brand new quarterback because they benched their normal quarterback. And, I don't know. I like football. I used to play when I was a kid. So, anywho, yeah, I hope Craig chimes in. Let's share the misery today. One of those days. But I have a snapper rider I use all the time. It's got a tire that really needs a tube in the front. Tires like this big, they're tiny. But to fill it up every time, I did that video the other day. I actually have to wrap the strap around it every single time because after about 2 hours, it'll go flat. I just haven't had a chance. It's just, I hate putting tubes in those real tiny tires, almost like the ones you get at Harbor Freight. The rim is so small, you're like breaking your knuckles trying to get a tube in there, And the wheels and the tire's so small, you run over a pricker and you're going to flatten it, I don't know. Yeah. I think I did one on changing a tire one time with the 3 tire spoons. I think I almost knocked my teeth out. I put the 3 tire spoons on it, and one of them I'm like gerrymandering it around. And bink! It exploded, and one tire iron just hit me in the forehead, just missed my face. But that's why, like I said, my guy charges $6. Money well spent. He's got the machine. In fact, I have one of those Harbor Freight tire things that you mount to the ground or you mount it to a trailer hitch, but I'm too lazy to hook it up. I don't do tires that often. And like I said, for $6, let him do it. Drop it off one day, pick it up the next. That's $6 is money well spent, But first time in years that I ever got one from him, and it went flat. So I know what that's like. You spend hours sometimes trying to put a friggin' tube in, and then the next morning it's flat. That pisses you off real fast, Yeah, $6, cheap. So, what else is going on? Yeah, a lot of people. What do we got? 4 or 5 people here. Mega, Jesse, Tim. Yeah, the cool weather's starting. Hopefully the fall's here. Leaves are starting to fall here. Trees are starting to turn. Leaves are starting to fall. It's going to happen fast. Usually we get one frost and that's it. Next day, all the leaves are down. So, anyhow, finally get to deliver that McCulloch I fixed 2 weeks ago. Hopefully the guy will give me my money. What do you say? Timmy lives so far from the boonies, Connecticut local land. Oh, wow. Which one's that, Jess? You bought one from him? What'd you buy? $3.94? Can't go wrong with a Matt Olson saw. Yeah, I bring my snapper rear engine railroad over my mom's. It's got one of these huge, big baggers on the back, a one-piece bagger. Sucks up all the leaves and everything in one shot. 262 or something. As long as it runs, right? I think he had a good deal on those things. I think he was selling those for like $400, which isn't bad considering it's all new inside, But I think he was working on a 350 last night. I didn't see the whole video, but I'm pretty sure he was waiting on some more parts to finish it. It looked pretty dirty. But if anyone saw my video today on that Ryobi, I've never seen a saw rip up not only the aluminum flywheel, but the crankshaft the way it did. And for some reason, these Ryobis, it looks like it was an aluminum key, but it sheared the heck out of the crankshaft, peeled it over, actually peeled the keyway right over, and spun and coated the taper of the crankshaft with aluminum. It was nasty, really nasty. I think what happened was it looks like something got stuck or the clutch backed out, because when I took the cover off the clutch, the three pieces of the clutch were actually separated from the spring. They had like jammed up. So it must have been revving. It undid itself, came apart, and then locked up. And this was the one I told you that hit the coil. It jammed against the coil. So, and the flywheel nut was fairly loose when I took it apart. I did it by hand. So, but the whole thing about that video was the tip to use the, yeah, there's a vid, you see it, is to use the air chisel. I use the air chisel like you use on a muffler, but with the pointy end on it. You stick that on the crankshaft, you hold your pry bar, and it literally pops right off. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure. You don't have to bang on the nut on the crankshaft and wreck the threads. You don't have to bang on the flywheel and dent it. And it works really good. I've been using it for years. I never thought to do a video on it. And I said, let me try it with this thing. Because this thing had half the crankcase was plastic. And I didn't want to make sure I didn't crack it. So I said, let me use the muffler chisel. So yeah, check out the vid, Meg. It's pretty cool. You'll see, but the carnage is crazy. It's just, I've never seen something blown up so much. And it looks like, from what he's telling me, he cut like 2 trees down. The thing's like brand new. I mean, hopefully, I think Home Depot's policy is 90 days. So hopefully he can just bring it back and get another one, because it wouldn't be worth it to try and fix it. That's for sure. You know, the wife let you buy a saw. That's a key word. She let you buy a saw. That's why I do what I do here, Jess, is because this side money reinvests all the time. I think there's a JD mechanic out there. I comment on his posts, and he's telling me I'm charging cheap. I go, look, I charge what I feel I should charge. It's under the table type thing. I use the money to buy more tools. I use the money to buy more equipment. I use the money to buy coffee. So it's not a business. It's more of a hobby. But you know, this way, it's just some way for me to pay for having fun, you know, instead of tapping into the bank account and making everybody crazy. You know, there's Craigie. How you doing, buddy? Sorry to hear about your oiler. Does that have a duckbill on the other end? I saw that. I'm not familiar with the 72s. I know you got the ceramic that you saw the oil coming out, and then you got the tube. Is there a duckbill on the end of that tube or inside the tube? Wondering about that, and I'm wondering if you could get it with a hemostat through the where you pour the oil in and maybe pull it out, or even drill out from the ceramic end and put something else in, maybe an echo vent or something. I don't know. You know, hey Boneyard, what's going on, brother? But I'm not too familiar with those vents, Craig. But I call it. I responded to your video. I called it Sympathy Sunday. Between the Ryobi that gave me hell this morning and that gave you hell, we're having a pretty lousy Sunday. But hey, what are you gonna do? You know. Under the brass filter, there's yeah. I'm wondering though if the brake clean would cause it, unless there's a piece of dirt in it, because usually the duckbills, well, either they work or they don't. You know, I've replaced a few of those on gas caps, mainly gas caps, where they fail. Sometimes they get gooey, but in oil it shouldn't. It should be okay, but you never know. You know what you should do? You should get an oil cap, a spare oil cap, an old one, drill a hole and glue on a barb like Chainsaw Guy Rich does, so you can use a Mighty Vac, and you can put some pressure in there, and maybe you can seal up the duckbill by applying pressure in there and holding your finger on the ceramic, maybe applying enough pressure to, you know, maybe seal up that duckbill or push out what's holding the duckbill open. Who knows? Maybe fill it up with solvent and, you know, put some pressure in there and maybe clean it out, or inject, like you said, go back through the other way and clean it out. Who knows? It could be. Could be the cheap Chinese rubber. You never know. Was that a full kit that you bought? It was the whole kit. You just bought it as the parts kit and you put it together. I'm trying to remember if I saw that video. But anywho, I was telling the guys before, 29th anniversary for me today. So I asked the wife, "What's for dinner?" Don't ask your wife what's for dinner on their anniversary. I made that mistake. So now there is no dinner, and I'm either going out to dinner or the kids are going to bring something home. So we'll see what happens with that. But tip to all you guys on your anniversary: don't ask what's for dinner. You know, when people ask what to make for dinner on your anniversary, you say reservations. That's what you say. Anyway, that's about the only thing I can make for dinner tonight. So we'll see. Nah, yeah, that's why I'm in here on the computer. Nah, we're just like I said, waiting. One of my daughters is at work, so I'm waiting for her to come home, and the other one went out for a little bit. So once they both come home and we're all here, we'll figure out what to do. We'll do it as a family. So yeah, 29 years just seems like yesterday. It really does. Time flies. Yeah, what'd you say, Craig, about the duckbill? It's on the end of the ceramic because if I'm looking at a 372, and I know it's that plastic tube that you guys have to press in. Is there ceramic and a duckbill, then a tube, nylon tube pressed over it, and that whole thing gets pressed into the case where the oil output is? I'm not too familiar with the 72s. No, no, no. Uh, 2 years old now. Everything's from tech. Oh, except the oiler. Okay. Answer to myself. Hey, I'm a married guy. I still answer to myself. Don't ask her though. You know. That's funny. But like I said, fall weather's coming. We had a hot day today, mid 80s here. Crazy hot, crazy hot. In fact, the sun's still out, but now it's going down earlier. Usually our sunset's around 8 o'clock. Now the sunset here is around 7. So it's starting to get earlier and earlier. And I think we changed the clocks around Halloween again. So once you do that, then you lose all your daylight. So anyway, oh boy. What else is going on, guys? Anything? Oh, 6 people. Who else joined? Some other people here? Unless it's just Craigie was the last. Craigie and Boneyard, I think, were the last guys. But yeah, I got to drop off some equipment at work tomorrow, throw it in the back of the truck, get paid for that. And I picked up a capacitor tester. My old one sort of was going kind of crazy. I needed to test a few more caps. So I bought a cheapo Amazon cap tester. I'll do a video next week. 31 and a half. Hey, that's all right, Craig. Like I said, we're around the same age. We are the same age. So you wait. Yeah, I waited a couple more years than you. I've known her, though. I've technically known her since high school, since the 70s. So we've actually known each other. We've known each other 40 years, since 79. We met in high school. We worked in a grocery store together. So that was back in 79, 80. So 40 years of knowing each other, 30 years married, 29 married. So anyway, trying to think what's working next. That 257 still sitting on the bench. I'm surprised the guy hasn't yelled at me and said, "Where's my chainsaw?" So about a blank. Now ours is funny. We met each other. I took her to my senior. It was called the senior cotillion dance back in what was that? We were like, I don't know, friends and friends, and we knew people and everything else. We worked in a grocery store. Took her to my senior dance in '81, and then we kept in touch, but we didn't really do much. And then back in '87, I think it was, we were both. I was broken up from an engagement. She was broken up from a longtime boyfriend, whatever, and we just hooked up. And it was like, okay, whatever. We were both the two nice guys in high school where we were friends with everybody. We really had no enemies, and it's like, oh, you guys should end up together, type thing. So we did. Pretty much, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was funny. I remember the day I started working there, and I met her. I was in the dairy department of a grocery store, and she was at the front desk. And I met her one day. I go, "Oh, that's a nice girl." I says, "I should meet up with one of those girl like that someday," and it happened. So, bu- 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 not in the cap. You talking the vent, Craig? What are we talking about, Tim? I mean, Craig. The duckbill sits under it in the case half. Oh, the duckbill's pressed into like a recess in the. I saw the ceramic piece, Is it the same recess where the duckbill gets pressed and then a tube gets pushed into that? Yeah, that's the way it was for me, Meg. I hadn't seen her probably in 4 or 5 years, and then back in '87, I just called her. It was Christmas time, and that was it. Rest is history. Oh, okay. Yeah. You see a lot of the duckbills in the fuel caps of a lot of cheaper saws, the Home Lights and the McCullochs and Poulons and things like that. There's always duckbill valves in there. You know, just tube duckbill brass filter. Hard to remove. Do you have to split the cases or can you take it out? I mean, I know it goes in from the inside, but will it be able to come out like if you use a hemostat? Or is it you got to split the cases? Because that would be a nightmare having to do all that all over, you know? That's funny, Megan. Uh, all from the outside. Well, that's good. So right where the ceramic is, you just pull it out that end, throw a screw in there, and pop it all out. Hey, James, how you doing? Good to hear from you. I saw you on the other night, but I was just tired. What happened at the end of Maddie's video yesterday? Did he do any more work? When he said he was going to start porting, I sort of shut it off because with the vacuum on and everything else, it was late, and just the noise would drive me nuts. So I didn't want to really listen to that. So a lock mower. I've worked on lock mowers with the old Briggs engines in them for the golf courses. Bunch of those around here. I think they used to make them in Connecticut because tons of those old green and black lock mowers around here. A lot of golf courses too. Remove the brass filter, remove the duckbill. Oh, that's not too bad then. That's not too bad. Back to work. Just pressure. Pressure up to 1,000 psi. What are you working on, Jess? Just pressured up to 1,000 psi. What the heck's 1,000 psi? Didn't have the right tool. Yeah, my wife went to a Catholic school about 5 miles away. I went to a public school here in Trumbull, and she went to a Catholic school in Bridgeport. So, but we were seeing each other because we worked. A lot of the kids in our area worked for the same grocery store in the mall in town. So that was fun. All right, Jesse, we got to go. Thanks for stopping. We'll talk to you soon. But yeah, you doing all right, James? Are you home or? What's it doing out in Indy, James? Cold, warm, what? Oh, oil well. Ooh. I see a lot of videos on those oil wells when the things go boom. Not fun. Take care. Be safe, Jesse. Be safe. That's for sure. Been home for 2 months. Oh, that's good. That is good. I was watching the Giants and the Saints and the other football games. They were at halftime, so I figured let me come on and do a quickie and talk about what I worked on today. So cleaned up the the basement a little bit so I could start working on stuff. 80. That's what it was here today too, James. It was like 80 something. Very humid in my basement. That's why I stopped. I started working on stuff. As soon as I saw the saw wasn't going to be fixed, I took a breather. I came upstairs. I was sweating my butt off because it was very, very humid. Yep, definitely humid. But nice with the AC not cranking every 5 minutes. That's for sure. Have a lower electric bill this month. You know. Let me see. Brought my tractors to a local tractor yesterday. I think I saw that Boneyard. It was a 2019 fall show or something. I think you said. What area are you from, Boneyard? Where are you from? Because here in Connecticut, we had a tractor show, or we had a garden tractor pull yesterday in Orange, Connecticut. It's a little fair they have. So, oh, okay, Long Island. All right. Yep. Or as they say, Long Island, the island of Long. Yeah, so you're right across the sound from me, Bridgeport, Trumbull. I could throw a rock across the sound and get you. So it's just I've been to a few car shows out in Long Island. The traffic going over the bridges, forget it. You can keep those, that's for sure. You know. Keep those. Traffic going to Long Island from Connecticut? No way. Not fun. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to hit it and see what the wife's doing with the dinner reservations or whatever she's doing. So that'll be it for me. This week it should be a productive week. I've got a John Deere X300 I'm going to work on putting in a throttle and choke cable assembly. I was amazed at the cost of that. But the orange handles snap off, I guess, on those things. So I bought one. Got to throw that in tomorrow. Biggie, when's the Biggie stop? I think the Biggie, isn't that over next week? I think it's next week. Orrington to London, yeah. Yeah, but Orrington to London, how do you get to Springfield? Because it's a decent drive from New London to Springfield. But anyway, yeah, I hope we have some fun. All right, guys, take care. Whatever you're doing, be safe. That's number one. Hopefully, we'll see Maddie or somebody on later. Craig, best of luck with the duck bill and all that stuff. We will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for stopping by, and have a great rest of whatever's left of today. We'll see you soon, guys. Bye-bye.